Welcome to DVCom Technology. In this lab, I am going to show you how to configure DrayTek Vigor P2540x switch. Let's go and understand the topology before we start the configuration. In my topology, we have Vigor 2862 router, which is going to act as the internet gateway, and we have 2540x switch. Let's go and see what are the things I'm going to configure it here. The first task is that I'm going to access the switch with the default IP and the default username and password. And the default IP address for Vigor 2540x switch, which is 192.168.1.224, which is /24. The username is admin and the password is admin. Let's go and access now. So before I'm going to access my switch, let's go and check whether I have a reachability or not. Open the command prompt and type 192.168.1.224. So I have a successful reachability. Now open the browser and type the IP address is 192.168.1.224. The default username is admin and default password is admin. Now my second task, change the default IP and admin password. So I'm going to change the admin password first, then after that I'm going to change the default IP. So to change the admin password, just click on change password. Now just go down, you can see here there is an admin account, then click on modify. Then click on edit password, then specify your original password, which is admin, and type the new password. And retype the password. Then after that specify the admin privilege. Then click OK. Then click OK. Now after this, I'm going to change the default IP. So the default IP, if you want, you can change it or you can use the same. But I'm going to change the default IP. You can keep it in any network or it's up to you how you want to change the default IP. To change the default IP, go to switch LAN and click on general setup and management IP and click on static, and you can able to change it here. So right now I want to change it as 192.168.1.5 and I'm going to keep it gateway as 192.168.1.1. That's it. Then after that, go down and say apply. Then click OK. Now what I'm going to do, instead of 224, I'm going to type 5. Now I can able to access back and click on admin and specify the password. Now my third task, configuration of the VLANs as per the topology. As per my topology, I need to configure total 4 VLANs. One is VLAN number 10, 20, 30 and 40. So VLAN number 10 we can call it as a orange VLAN. VLAN number 20 we can call it as a green VLAN, and VLAN number 30 we can call it as a red VLAN, and VLAN number 40 we are going to use it for management VLAN. Let's go and configure the VLANs. To configure the VLANs, go to the switch LAN. Then after that, you can click on the VLAN management, then click on create VLAN. So let's go and create the VLANs. And if you notice here, by default there is VLAN number 1 and all the interfaces are belongs to the VLAN number 1 at the moment. So I'm going to create VLAN number 10. Then after that I'm going to specify the name as orange. Then click apply. Now I'm going to give VLAN number 20. Then I'm going to specify VLAN number 20 as the green. Then click apply. Now I'm going to configure the VLAN number 30 and I'm going to specify as red, and VLAN number 40 I'm going to specify as management VLAN. Now let's go back to my scenario. Now I have configured the VLANs as per the topology. Now I'm going to shift the ports as per the topology. To shift the ports, go to the VLAN management and click on interface settings. Then here, port number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, I'm planning to keep into VLAN number 10 as access ports. If you see here, they are untagged, then click apply. Then after that, port number 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 or belongs to VLAN number 20 as access port. Port number 30, VLAN number 30, we are going to shift the remaining ports, which is 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. Now I'm going to make it as an access port. Then say apply. Now if you see the status, just go down. Port number 1 to 5 are belongs to VLAN number 10. Port number 6 to 10 are belongs to VLAN number 20. And port number 11 to 15 are belongs to VLAN number 30. Now if you notice here, in my lab topology, port number 48, which is connected to my router, and I'm going to keep that interface into the management VLAN. So let's go and do that. Port number 48, which is this. Now by default it says a trunk. I'm going to keep this interface as a management VLAN. So it belongs to VLAN number 40. Let's go down. Then after that, make it as access port, and it belongs to VLAN number 40. Say apply. So far we have done it. Perfect. So the second task, if you see here, the next task, I just want to configure the DHCP. But before you are going to configure the DHCP, make sure that you need to configure the virtual interfaces for each and every VLAN, so that those interfaces are going to act as a gateway. So to do that, go to VLAN routing. There you can find interface settings. But before that, go to the property and enable this. Say apply. Then after that, say OK. Then click on interface settings. Then after that, specify the VLAN ID. VLAN ID is VLAN number 10. Then description you can mention if you like. Otherwise, just give the IP address 192.168.10.1, 255.255.255.0. So this is going to act as a gateway for VLAN number 10. Then after that 20, 192.168.20.1. I'm sorry, it should be here. Then the subnet mask, which is /24. Then after that, I'm going to configure the VLAN number 30. Then specify 192.168.30.1. Say apply. Then after that, VLAN number 40. So I'm going to give 192.168.40.1. So since this switch, it's going to act as a layer 2 plus, so it does the routing between one VLAN to another VLAN. Then after that, we need to enable the DHCP. So the first thing is that you need to create the virtual interfaces. Then after that, you need to configure the DHCP. Let's go and do that. So to configure the DHCP, you can go to the switch LAN. Then after that, select the DHCP server or relay. Then after that, click on DHCP server. Now if you see here, right now the server is down. Right now you selected the interface VLAN ID, VLAN number 10. Enable this server. Then after that, from where you want to start the IP. I want to start the IP address from 192.168.10.11. Then I'm going to start, I just need 10. Then after that, what's your gateway? My gateway is 192.168.10.1 and the DNS server. So the DNS server, you can give it to as 213.42.20.20 and 195.229.241.222. Then after that, say apply. Then did you notice here it's going to support the maximum 8 DHCP pools, 8 DHCP servers you can say. Then after that, go to VLAN number 20, enable this server. and I want to start from 20.11. Then I need just here 20. Then after that, gateway is 192.168.20.1 and DNS server is 4.2.2 and 8.8.8. Then after that, click apply. Then say OK. Now you can able to see there is a two DHCP pools, one for VLAN number 10, another one for 20. Then after that, I am going to create for red VLAN, enable the DHCP server, and I want to start 192.168.30.11. Just I want to give 50. Then after that, gateway is 192.168.30.1. Then after that, you are going to specify the DNS server, which is 213.42.20.20, 195.229.241.222. Then click apply. So far I have configured 3 DHCP pools and those status is up and running. So I have configured successfully. Then after that, I need to write a static route towards my router. So here you need to understand one important thing. So if you see here in my topology, port number 48 in my switch, I have shifted into VLAN number 40, which is my management VLAN, right? And for my management VLAN, I configured gateway as 192.168.40.1, right? Which is /24. So now here port number 4 I connected at my router and I am going to configure it as 192.168.40.5. Then after that, I am going to write a default route towards my switch to the router. So the default route, what it will do, it's going to pointing to my router. So the next stop will be 192.168.40.5. That's what I'm going to do now. Let's go and check it now. So what I'm going to do now, let's go and write that route. So to do that, what you are going to do, let's go to your VLAN routing. Then after that, click on static route. Then add the default route. So what's the gateway? The gateway is 192.168.40.5. Then after that, just click apply. There you go. Now there is a default route which is pointing to 40.5. So these are the configurations which you have done it on your switch side, because since your switch is going to act as a layer 3 switch, so that you can able to do the routing and you can able to configure the static routing. In case if you want to check the routing table, just click on this. Go to the diagnostics and click on routing table, then you can able to see it. See here right now these 4 VLANs has connected directly and we return one default route which is pointing to 40.5. So this is what we have done from the switch side. Now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to disconnect my cable from the switch and I'm going to connect it to the router. So router on the LAN 1 interface, which is 2862 router. So let's see here, I'm going to get the IP address automatically. So now I'm going to type 192.168.1.1 and just configure it. Admin, then p at the rate, oh sorry, it's a new router, right? There is no password for this. So now I'm going to change it now. So to changing that, say yes, no issues. To changing that, go to the system maintenance. Then after that, you need to select administrator password. Then specify the old password, which is admin. Then after that, the new password. Then go down, then click OK. Now my password has successfully changed. Now you need to change the time and date. Then here select +4 because I belongs to Dubai, my time zone. Then after that, click OK. Now you can see here. So today is the Friday, I'm in morning 3:39. Then after that, go to the LAN. It's already WAN interface is already connected, which is enabled with DHCP. So I'm nothing to worry about that. So go to the LAN, then click on general setup. Then here what I want to do now, I need to change this IP address as 192.168.40.5, which is /24. then I need to disable the DHCP. I don't want any DHCP there. Why? Because since my layer 3 switch is acting as a DHCP server. And by the way, you need to understand one very important thing. If you see here, this is my layer 3 switch. So here what we have done, we configured 3 VLANs. VLAN number 10, VLAN number 20 and VLAN number 30. And we configured the gateway for VLAN number 10 as 10.1, 20.1 and 30.1. And we configured one more VLAN which is VLAN number 40. That's my management VLAN which is 40.1 in my switch side. Then here what I did, port number 48 I shifted into VLAN number 40. Then after that I connected to the router. In the router what I connected, I am going to connect to port number 4. So right now I didn't tag any VLANs or anything on port number 48 since it's an access port. So the access port and it belongs to VLAN number 40. So simply what I am going to do now, by default P1, P2, P3, P4 are belongs to the same LAN which is LAN number 1, and the default IP address is 192.168.1 network. So I am going to make it as 192.168.40.5 which is /24. It's here. Now I am going to disable the DHCP here, right? Because in my layer 3 switch I have written a default route which is pointing to my router which is 40.5. Then my router, the WAN interface is connected to ISP. So now what I am going to do now, when the request is coming from VLAN number 10 to my router, then my router will send the traffic to the internet, right? But unfortunately when the return traffic is come, then router he doesn't know to where it has to forward it. Keep remember this. For that what we are going to do, we are going to write the reverse routes towards my layer 3 switch. So for example what I am going to do in my router, I am going to say if you want to go 192.168.10.0 network which is /24, your next stop is 192.168.40.1. Same way, if you want to go 192.168.20.0, the next stop will be 40.1. If you want to go 30, the same way. Why? Because your router, he doesn't know who is 10, 20 and 30. That's why we need to write a reverse routes. Keep remember that. Otherwise, you cannot able to access the internet. So now what I'm going to do now, let's click on OK. Say OK. Thank you very much. But make sure that now you are going to lose the connectivity, guys. So you need to give your IP address from the same subnet, right? So what you are going to do, let's go to ncpa.cpl and change the IP address of your NIC interface as 40. Then only you can able to access your router, right? So let's see now. So I'm going to ping, otherwise I just refresh it. I need to give 192.168.40.5. Yes, successfully login. Say admin and the new password. Now there you go. Then after that, see here it was successfully changed 40.5. Now what I want to do, guys, I need to write the routes. Let's go to the static routing. Click on one, enable this profile, and I want to go 192.168.10.0 which is /24. Then I am going to specify 192.168.40.1. Then after that say OK. Then enable the second which is 192.168.20.0 network, and this is /24 network, and I'm going to give the next stop is 192.168.40.1. Then after that say OK. Then after that I'm going to give 192.168.30.0, then /24. Then after that I am going to specify the gateway as 192.168.40.1. It has to go through the LAN. Say OK now. Now if you want to check the routing table, see here, go to the diagnostics, then click on the routing table. Now you can see here there is a 3 static routes, you can able to see it, 10, 20 and 30. So now if you go to the dashboard, still port number 4 is not connected. So I'm going to connect from the switch. Yeah, so let's go and check it now. So now I have connected with port number 48 at the switch and port number 4. Now just refresh this. Now you can see here port number 4 is successfully connected now. So now what I'm going to do now, I just log out from here. There is nothing to do, right guys? Then after that, just remove my cable from my router. Then after that, go to run ncpa.cpl. Let's go and check. Now I'm going to connect my PC into the switch on port number 125, any one port, right? So that I'm going to get automatically the IP address and I'm going to get the internet as well. So right now I have disconnected, that's why I'm not able to see that. It's fine for me. So let's go and connect it now. So right now I have connected my PC into VLAN number 10. Let's go and check it, whether I can able to get the IP address, whether I can able to get the internet or not. This is my challenging. Let's go and check it now. So still, let's wait now. So now what I'm going to do now, let's double click this guy. So far he didn't get any IP address. So let's disable this interface and enable it. There's no problem for that. So wait for 1 minute. There you go. So meanwhile, what I'm going to do now, I just verified whether I got the IP or not. So still I believe I didn't get the IP address. So let's go and diagnose. Right click and diagnose, because since I'm just removing the cable in multiple times and I'm connecting here and there, so it's resetting the LAN adapter. So it doesn't have valid IP. Let's go and check it. Might be our DHCP is down. That's the reason. So still it doesn't come up. Okay, now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to access the switch. Again back. Let's go here. This is like a troubleshooting things. You can just go here, details. Yes. Type the IP, which is the default IP 192.168.1.10. Say OK, say close. So now you know that the IP address is 1.5 and just click admin and the new password. Let's check what's the issue, because I am not able to getting the DHCP. So for that, what we are going to do, go to the switch LAN, then DHCP server. So now did you see here the DHCP server is down. That's the reason guys, so you nothing to worry. Yeah, so now what you can do, if you see here right now DHCP 10, it's perfectly all right. Yeah, just go and enable it now. Say okay, now the DHCP server is running. That's perfectly all right. Yeah, so you nothing to worry guys, it's perfectly all right. So 20 it's enable, that's good. 30 I believe it's enable. There you go. Yeah, VLAN 10, 20 and 30. And make sure that you are in the specific port or not. These are the troubleshooting steps that you are going to do it. Then after that, go to the switch LAN, then VLAN management, then check the interface settings. So right now this is perfectly all right. So now let's log out from here and verify it now. Yeah, so now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to remove that IP address which I configured there, the static IP address. Say okay, say okay, then click close, close. Now let's remove this guy and put it back to in VLAN number 10. Now just verify it now. Perfect. Now let's go and see it here. Ping 4.2.2. Wow, I got the IP. And now I'm going to say IP config to verify that I should see that I'm getting the IP address from my switch. Perfectly all right. See there. So right now my switch is going to act as a DHCP server. Yeah. So now ping 4.2.2. There you can see. Now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to remove the cable from VLAN number 10. See, I lose the connectivity. Now I'm going to connect it to another VLAN. So let's wait for that. Now just wait for a few seconds. There you go. Now I'm able to access the internet as well. So wait for a few seconds. There you go. And if you want to check, go to ncpa.cpl and double click on this and see here I got it 20.11. So now what I'm going to do, I want to check VLAN number 30, right? So remove this cable and put it into VLAN number 30. Now you see you lose the connectivity. Now I just put it back. It's going to coming up. Wait for a moment. There you go. Then simply what you can do, go to your ncpa.cpl, just double click on that, click on details, then you can able to see it. Alright guys, so this is how it's going to work. Now if you want to access your switch, simply you can type 192.168.10.1. See here I'm able to access my switch. I don't have any problem. Yeah. And even if you want, you can access your router as well. If you see here 40.5 and see I'm able to access my router also, because the routing is doing from your switch. Yeah. And if you want to check the routing table, just go to the diagnostics and check on the routing table. You can see here. So this is how it's working guys. And if you want to see the DHCP table, see here I have connected my PC into VLAN number 10 and I got this IP, and 20 I got this IP, 30 I got this IP, right? See here the MAC address is the same. Hope you guys are clear. So this is whenever you are going to use layer 2 plus switch, there is a lot of advantages and you can able to do the complete routing. Hope you guys are enjoying this video and thanks for watching. For sales, please send us an email, sales@datavoice.com.